Good day everyone. For today's presentation, I will continue the discussion of global migration. And by the way, I am Aramay Cabase from BSN2 English, your presenter. Continuation of the report last week about global migration. Migration is traditionally governed either by push factors such as political persecution, economic depression, war, and famine in the home country, or by pull factors such as favorable migration, policy, a labor shortage, and a similarity of language and culture in the country of destination by Ritzer 2015. When it's a push factor, it is the reason people leave a place, while pull factors is the reason people are attracted to new place to live. When we say migration, it is moving from one place to another. It is a movement of one people in one place or in a particular place, and people migrated in search of new opportunity as well as to escape persecution, conflict, poverty, and others. Example of showing migration is a group of birds migrating. They migrate because they are searching comfortable place to live. They seeking food and place for nesting or place they will survive. And just like us, human, we migrate just like them. People who leave their country are said to immigrate. People who move into another country are called immigrants. And the movement of people into a country is known as immigration. It is clear naman na yung mga taong umaalis ng bansa ay tinatawag na emigrate at yung mga tao na umaalis papunta sa ibang bansa, ito na tinatawag na immigrants, at ang tawag sa paggalaw o sa movement ng tao papunta sa ibang bansa ay tinatawag na immigration. There are two types of migration. The first one is internal migration and the second one is international migration. When we say internal migration, any movement from one place to another from the same country. From the word itself, internal, ibig sabihin, kunwari sa Pilipinas, doon lang din siya nag-move sa loob ng Pilipinas. Kunwari, yang Mindoro to Manila. The other one is the international migration. It is the movement of people from country or to another. For example naman ito ay dito sa Pilipinas, tapos nag-migrate ka, pumunta ka sa ibang bansa, yun naman ang tinatawag na international migration. International migration can be divided into 5 groups. First, move permanently to another country. Ito yung mga tao na umaalis papunta sa ibang bansa para doon na manirahan permanently. Second, workers who stay in another country for a fixed period at least 6 months in a year. Ito naman yung mga tao na pumupunta lang sa ibang bansa. For example, they have contract work to do at least 6 months. Then after that, babalik na uli sila from the origin country. The next one is illegal migrants. Fourth, these families have pensionated them to move to the destination country. And last one is the refugees, those unable or unwilling to return because of well-founded fear of persecution on account of race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. For better understanding, the migrants come into different criteria by Stephen Castles. The first one, temporary labor. From the word itself, temporary, they are popularly known the overseas contract workers who migrate for limited in order to work and send remittances to their family left at home, among OFW or the overseas Filipino workers. Second one is highly skilled and business migrants. They are the people with special skills and qualification who seek employment through international labor markets for scarce skills. The third one, irregular migrants, or also known as undocumented illegal migrants. They are people who enter a country usually in search of employment without the necessary documents and permits. Fourth one is refugees, or these are the people residing outside their country or nationality who is unable or unwilling to return because of well-founded fear of persecution on account of race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. The fifth one is asylum seekers. It is a person who has left their country and it is seeking protection from persecution and serious human rights violation in another country but who hasn't yet been illegal. Sixth one is forced migration. This includes not only refugees and asylum seekers but also people forced to move by environmental catastrophes or development projects. Next one, seven family members. Also known as family reunion or family reunification migrants team on a petition. This migration is to join people who have already entered an immigration country under one of the above categories. And the last one is the returned migrants. From the word returned, these are the people who return to their countries of origin after period time in another country. I have here some causes of migration: lack of services, lack of safety, marriage, employment, education, poverty. Pero madami pang ibang causes ang migration. Ngayon naman ay ating alamin ang mga advantages and disadvantages ng migration from country of origin and host country. Unahin muna natin yung origin country. First advantage from country of origin is developing countries benefit from remittances. Every day, migrants send money to their family members in developing countries. These remittances are an important part of the economy in such countries and can be used for investment in infrastructure, healthcare, education, and security. Next is reduction of unemployment. Migrating can have a positive impact on the country of origin. It can increase their economic stability, reduce unemployment, and improve their workforce productivity. In addition to that, young migrants can be seen as source of innovation and talent. Next one is migrants bring back skills, contacts, and other useful tools. Migration not only leads to social and economic benefits for host countries, but for countries of origin as well. Millions of migrants left their home countries and settled in another country, mostly a Western one. They usually return with savings, useful skills, and contacts with help to drive economic growth, boost competitiveness, and increase innovation for their country of origin. And the next one is the disadvantages of migration for country of origin. First is loss of financial and information wealth. When countries are experiencing high levels of migration, the young population of that country or the country of origin will not be able to provide their previous level or economic contribution. This can result in a significant loss of wealth to the country as a whole. Loss of skilled labor. One of the negative impacts that migration has is the loss of qualified human resources in countries of origin. For example, when doctors migrate, there is a shortage of physicians in the country they live, with high level of depression, unemployment, and other health risks. these people are less likely to return to their home countries. Next one is negative effect on children. When people migrate, they usually leave family members behind. This can lead to children growing up without a wider family circle that provides emotional and material support. The social problems that migrants experience in their destination country could also have a negative impact on the country of origin, leaving orphans or vulnerable children without parents. Ngayon naman, let's find out what is the advantages and disadvantages of migration for host country. First, the advantages. Job vacancies can be filled. Migration can have a number of benefits for the host country. It has the potential to fill job vacancies and develop skills gaps within the workforce, improve business productivity, and boost national productivity. Next, increases economic growth. The economic benefits of migration to the host country of low-skilled laborers often outweighs the risk and cost to the host. In some cases, it can even be said that immigrants are a vital part of the cultural fabric of many countries. Third one, can benefit locations where the majority of the population is old. When an economy begins to stagnate, fewer young people move in the area. This has a significant detrimental impact on services like healthcare and education that rely on a stable population. One solution is for migrants to migrate from their country of origin to the host country. As they are younger, they bring with them new ideas and skills that can help invigorate the economy. Next one is additional sources of tax for the host country. For some countries are experiencing a demographic crisis as the number of people in the country shrink and the number of people able to work shrinks. However, this population decline can be used to their advantages by accepting immigrants from other countries. The pension gap can be filled by the contribution of new young workers and they also pay taxes. Next, new innovations and ideas. Of course, researchers who have studied immigrants in the United States say that their presence has resulted in a positive impact on society. They contribute to economic growth and make up for some of the skills that the native-born population lacks. Immigrants are also thought to be bringing new ideas and innovation, which is important since so many of today's jobs require specialized skills. Many companies, instead of hiring American workers, would prefer to hire foreign-born individuals because they can be hired more quickly and offer more value than their local counterparts. Next one is favorable economic and cultural impact. In terms of economic development, migration has been shown to have a long-term positive impact. This is because immigrants bring skills and knowledge that may not be easily obtained or duplicated in the local population. In terms of cultural diversity, migrants contribute much to their country's social fabric and identity as they integrate with other culture groups within their host country. And of course, dahil merong advantage, syempre may disadvantage din ng ang migration para sa host country. First is depression of wages. One of the major disadvantages to migration can be too much competition for jobs. In some cases, those who migrate need to take on a lower paying job than they do had in their homeland to maintain their standard of living. Additionally, with more people migrating, there is an increased cost of goods and services, causing wages to decrease. This is true also when immigrants have a higher education level and are willing to work for less pay. Next is companies may neglect employee benefit programs. With globalization and economic pressure on wages, more workers have been willing to move from their countries of origin, yet this had led to a decline in worker productivity and development as companies can get away with paying low wages because they are able to save money by using migrant workers. The other one can lead to exploitation. Migration can be dangerous and can have a negative impact of the economy. While some migrants are able to find a decent job and earn a living for themselves, others may end up being exploited in the process. It is important for migrants to protect their rights because they may be taken advantage of due to language barriers or by placing their trust in people who do not want them to succeed. Next, strain on public services. Increased population can put pressure on public services. The more people there are, the more towns and cities have to build as well as new residential areas, schools and hospitals to accommodate them. This creates a strain on the government and its budget. The next one is displacement of jobs. The number of people immigrating into a country can have economic and social implications. If unending numbers of people are migrating into an area, then it can have detrimental consequences like the displacement of jobs, unemployment, and limited access to resources. There are also drawbacks as well, such as increased rates of crimes, health risks, and climate change. The next one is takes time to adapt to a new environment. Of course, to it it's possible to integrate and find acceptance within a limited time frame. There are still difficulties that come from this movement. Some of these challenges include language barriers. Syempre, common na yon. Threats of terrorism and violence, health discrimination, and racism. The last one is increased crime rates. Organized crime and people trafficking can be facilitated by migration of people. The ease of movement can make it easy for organized criminals to transport drugs, weapons, and other illicit goods across borders. And that's all for the advantages and disadvantages of migration in origin country and the host country. Many countries face issues of illegal migration. The United States faced a major influx of illegal immigrants from Mexico and other Central American states. Thomson 2008. The number of unauthorized immigrants living in the United States has dropped to the level it was in 2004, and Mexicans are no longer a majority of this population. This decline is due mainly to a large drop in the number of new unauthorized immigrants, especially Mexican, coming into the country. The origin countries of unauthorized immigrants also shifted during the time, with the number from Mexico declining and the number rising from the Central America and Asia, according to the latest Pew Research Center estimate. A fence is being constructed on the U.S.-Mexico borders to control this flow of people. However, its efficiency is questioned, and it is thought that it will only lead illegal immigrants to adopt more dangerous methods to gain entry. In addition to tighter borders have also had the effect of locking in people who might otherwise have left the country. Other countries with similar concerns about illegal migration include Great Britain, Switzerland, and Greece, as well as the countries Asia. Immigrants contributed to economic growth through remittances being sent to their country of origin, which improves the lives of recipients, reduces poverty rates, and increases the level of education as well as the foreign reserves of the home country. Banks are often unwilling or unable to handle the type, small amounts of money, and volume of remittances. As a result, specialized organizations play a major role in the transmission of remittances. According to Malkin 2007, the Philippines is one of the leaders when it comes to the flow of remittances, $14.7 billion, next to India $24.5 billion, and China $21.1 billion. Remittances to low and middle income countries reached a record high in 2018 according to the World Bank's latest Migration and Development. The bank estimates that officially recorded annual remittances flows to low and middle income countries reached $529 billion in 2018, an increase of 9.6% over the previous record high of $483 billion in 2017. Global in remittances, which include flows to high-income countries, reached $689 billion in 2018, up from $633 billion in 2017. Regionally, growth in remittances inflows range from almost 7% in East Asia and the Pacific to 12% in South Asia. The overall increase was driven by a stronger economy and employment situation in the United States and remittance is a money that is sent back home for purposes of family maintenance. Remittance is when a workers work abroad and send money back home for their family. Remittance is a term that was actually invented by the World Bank, and remittance basically means someone who an export workers, someone who is living in one country moves to another country, works there, and sends money back home for purposes of family maintenance. Example, you are working in India and you migrated to the Middle East to work there on construction projects or in the entertainment industry or in the hospitality industry, and you are getting paid for your salary every month. You and that salary, when you have collected that salary, and you at the end of the month go to a money exchange company or a money transfer company and send the money back home, what you are doing is called a remittance. These are my references, and this is the end of my report. Hope you learned something, and thank you for listening.